Oh.
Hey.
No.
Here we are with a concert review of Amon Amarth, Enslaved, Skeletonwitch, Deceiver, the Gods Tour. Ooh, we saw this at Silver Spring, Maryland. We're a little bit late. I think this was like the 31st of January that we saw it. And got home really late. Decided to say fuck it. And we're doing it now.
Yeah.
So here it is. This tour's still going on though. So yeah, we got there, and the place was packed, and it was fucking packed all night.
And you got more packed, and more packed.
It was so
more
bad
packed.
that you couldn't even move. Literally, I felt like I was just getting. It was just like a fuck train.
I had to fight for every inch that I got.
Yeah, me too. And the first thing that happened, Amon Amarth played their Father of the Wolf music video, which is a pretty cool music video.
It's epic as fuck.
It was pretty epic. It was pretty cool to see it. You know, I saw it ahead of time before the show, but it was pretty cool to see it there. You know, if someone hasn't saw it. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I was one of them. I hadn't seen it up until that point, and it was awesome. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. So not long after that, Skeletonwitch came on and to start the show. So thoughts?
Yeah, you know, I've seen Skeletonwitch before. They were on tour with Havoc before, and they were pretty solid. They played, you know, I get a couple songs I think from their new album, and a couple songs I definitely recognized of theirs, and it was just really cool. They're, you know, an evil band in a way. They're, you know, thrash, black metal, and it's just a rocking good time listening. They got everybody fired up from the get go, and I kind of knew that this was gonna be a great show. And like, you know, the opener. I mean, yeah, it's Skeletonwitch, and they're still pretty big, but I mean, the opener got everybody fired up. So that was, I think, pretty cool. All their sound was pretty good. I thought maybe, for whatever reason, I couldn't hear like the solos too well during their set. I mean, that's one of the things that I specifically remember. And I mean, everything else is pretty solid. I mean, they're kind of like the rest of the bands in the sense that, you know, just about everybody has a beard in that band. They fit the part of, you know, they fit on this tour. You know, a couple funny moments was, you know, the singer, I don't know his name off the top of my head, you know, told the crowd to smoke weed and eat pussy, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, they put on a very solid performance. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a great start to a phenomenal show.
Yeah, I enjoyed them. This is the fourth time I've seen them, I think. And it was probably the best I've seen them. They were just tight. I mean, that's probably the best way to really describe this band's live show, is that it's just tight and it's ferocious. They came on and they just played 10 aggressive and fast songs and just smacked them all into a half an hour, and it was incredible to watch. Their sound was, besides maybe hearing the solos every now and then, it was pretty solid though for an opening band. Usually they have like shitty sound, but theirs was really dead on, I felt. They played 4 new songs. They played Burn from Bone, I Am of Death, probably the 2 most popular off of there. Then they played 2 other ones that I thoroughly enjoy, and that is From a Cloudless Sky and Beneath Dead Leaves.
Oh.
Those 2 were great to hear live. Last time I saw them opening for the Black Dahlia Murder, they only played Burn from Bone and the title track Serpents Unleashed. And I don't really like the title track Serpents Unleashed. I think it's just kind of like whatever. It's like I feel like nothing happens in that song. So it was really cool to hear these songs. These are the stronger songs on the album, and they sounded great live. The vocals were spot on. They're always awesome. I love the vocals of this band, you know, and they're cool dudes. I mean, we opened for them, what,
2
over
years
a
ago
year
now? Oh, a year and a half
like
ago.
that.
Year and a half ago now.
Yeah, pretty much, and you know, talked to some of them, and they're very nice guys, and I love Skeletonwitch. I mean, they're one of the strongest live bands that you will see. I feel that they are much better live than they are on record, just because you feel just the energy that they have. They really just come out there and just bam. I mean, they performed everything really good. And the older songs were great too. Beyond the Permafrost, Crossed Beyond Dust is awesome.
Yeah.
And they only played one song off of Forever Abomination. I was hoping for a Choke Upon Betrayal, but they opened up and played The Horrifying Force, Desire to Kill, the first song off of Forever Abomination. But yeah, Skeletonwitch ruled. Next was Enslaved.
Enslaved was really cool. Enslaved is officially now joining a list of bands that include now bands like Battlecross, Death Angel, and Children of Bodom, and Slipknot, and bands like that. Were bands that, after seeing them live, I've grown to love. After seeing, I listened to them and I thought they were okay. I did enjoy the Retir, their most recent, I guess their most recent album they put out. I did enjoy that album, but it just took me a little while to get into them. And after seeing them live, it was very tight, very good. But they played Death in the Eyes of Dawn. I did also like Ulfadir Odin. Yeah, that song, and they played, I guess, the title track, and all of it was just really cool. It's just the atmosphere was what made that part of the show awesome. I mean, wasn't 100% sure they had a keyboardist up until this point, and didn't know that they had another vocalist to do all the cleans, which I thought was kind of cool. And just again, everything about this band was tight. I mean, they might at times they were, but I mean, like, they might not have been as ferocious as the other two bands, but they fit perfectly with what was going on with the atmosphere and the visual images and the feelings that you get from the music. It was all really, really fun. And I'm trying to think of some specific things. I thought, well, for one, I thought, like, just in general, like, they sounded tight. I thought I really, really enjoyed this. So I've been checking out Enslaved a lot more since this show, and so they did a good job.
The best way that I can describe Enslaved's performance is perfection. It was seriously perfect. If you would play their studio albums and then you would play them live, there would be absolutely no difference. It was incredible. I felt that them coming out and playing Death in the Eyes of Dawn, my personal favorite track off of, my second favorite track off of their new album, Retir, behind Roots of the Mountain. I feel that them coming out and playing that song really established the mood and the atmosphere that they were trying to go for. They only played one really old song when they were more of a raw black metal band. Now they're more, progressive, but they still got their black metal elements to them. The elements, dude. But the one black metal song that they did play, what Keith said, all for Odin, I don't know what the fuck it's called, that got people moving. Like, that place went fucking nuts when they played that song. I never heard that song, but the grooves in that were just awesome. I really enjoyed that song. They ended up playing Rune and Issa, which are fantastic albums and are fantastic songs, so that was great to hear. And they played Ethica Odini, the title track off of this album, this masterpiece. So that was great to hear. I wish I could have heard more off of, Retir or Ethica Odini. They pretty much played title tracks off of all their stuff, now that I think about it, off of a couple of their albums. But, they played 6 songs and played for like 45 minutes. So that's saying something, their songs are pretty long. The growling vocals were spot on. They were flawless the whole time. The cleans were amazing. Another band that I feel is better live than in studio. As soon as they were done, I'm like, I want to see them again. I wish they could have played for 4 fucking hours. They were perfect. And I mean, they came on, played Death in the Eyes of Dawn, and not too many people were moving or really seemed into it. But as they went on, people really got into it, and it was really, really awesome to watch. And these guys, their beards, and just, they look like they're from fucking Norway or
Well, they
wherever
are.
they're from.
Yeah.
I know, but they just look like those people.
They
with
look the part.
beards.
They look the part.
Yeah, they really, really do. I mean, I know they are, but when I think of people from Norway and Finland and stuff, that's what I picture. Big, tall dudes with beards. That's them. So Enslaved was seriously perfect. I recommend seeing this band to anybody, really, if you're just in for an incredibly tight show. They're not a band that moves around and jumps up and down and does crazy stunts. They just go out there, play their music, and they're very tight live. I, too, did not know they had a keyboardist, and even live, I don't know where the keyboards are coming from. I don't hear it in their albums, and I don't hear it live. I'm not very sure on that. But that dude can sing, though, so I'll give him that. Yeah, Enslaved was fantastic. And finally, Amon Amarth.
Yes. Amon Amarth was incredibly solid, I felt. They played, in a lot of ways, most of the songs that, you would want to hear. Of course they played the obligatory songs off their new album, because they're touring in support of their new album, which, I expected them to play a lot of songs from the new album. But they played a lot of, their old songs. I mean, they opened up with Father of the Wolf, and then immediately went into Deceiver of the Gods, and after that was Death and Fire. They played a lot. They played that. They played As Loki Falls. They played Shapeshifter, War of the Gods.
They played 17 songs.
Is
That's a long set. I've never seen a band really play 17 songs for a long time. The most I've seen is Metallica, and I think they played 18, which is a lot. So, I mean, and they were only on for an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, so I mean, like they banged them out.
Yeah.
And like I said, everything was really solid. The guitars sounded great. Johan, the vocalist, I guess he was sick at this performance, so he wasn't perfect, but I mean, he still sounded amazing. Like he went out and he said, "Hey, I kind of have a cold, so I kind of sound like crap." But honestly, if he wouldn't have noticed, I might have just thought, "Oh, he's maybe just not hitting certain pitches or whatever," and it would have only been like a little bit of inconvenience. But he did good for that. And these guys just got everybody into it, right after the solos in Deceiver of the Gods, they got the crowd to sing along to the guitar melody, and then at the very end of the show when they played Pursuit of the Vikings during the last chorus, everything just kind of slowly dropped off, and then they had the crowd singing the chorus, and it was awesome. And like what song was it? They got people jumping around a lot for I think it was
towards the end.
Was it Destroyer of the Universe? It might have been.
Maybe. Destroyer of the Universe is too fast. Maybe Cry the Blackbird.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, they got everybody. Everybody was moving the entire time during that set, and I think that's one of the things about this band that's really awesome. Is that it's the feels. You want to move when this band plays. I mean, if I was a stockier person and I wasn't, fighting for every bit of elbow room I probably might have, actually got around and moved a bit more. But since I was focusing on that, it didn't happen too much. But, it was great, all of it.
I couldn't see.
I could see after a while. I managed to find poke heads because, again, I'm short. I poked and I found where I could get a general sight of everything that was going on. I mean, all in all, it was just awesome. It was an awesome thing to witness. I mean, I was excited to see them in Mayhem this past year, and honestly, they were a lot better, I think, here. It was a much better atmosphere just because they kind of, again, another one of those bands where smaller venues, they thrive, and so this show was just amazing because of that.
I completely agree. Amon Amarth had one of the largest backdrops I've ever seen in my life. Literally spanned the entire stage area that they had. Usually they're a little bit shorter or something. Like, it was huge. It was just the album art from Deceiver of the Gods.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool. And they played 6 songs from it, I think. Most of them were really, really cool. They've been. I've seen set lists of other ones. They've been rotating. When they played "Coming in the Tide" for us, other times they've been playing "We Shall Destroy." I much would have heard that song because I don't know, "Coming in the Tide" just doesn't. I don't know. It's an alright song, but I much would have rather heard that. And they were rotating when they played Warriors of the North. They were playing something else then, sometimes too. But those were cool. All the new songs were very cool to hear. They sounded good. Like Keith said, Johan was sick, but I mean, he sounded fine to me. Like, I mean, even still playing a 17-song, hour-and-a-half set, even at the end of the set, he still sounded pretty good. You would think, after a while his voice would just start to give out with him having a cold or something, but he sounded fine. He sounded great. I enjoyed that. Overall, their overall sound was just spot on. It really was. It was heavy. It was the perfect loudness, I guess. It was just the perfect sound. It really was. I don't know how else to really describe it. You could really hear all the leads and the solos perfectly fine. They didn't do that stupid shit where they split it. I hate when bands do that. It just bothers me. So they didn't really have that going on, which was cool. But they snuck in two songs that I didn't really realize that they played until after the show, and that is For Victory or Death from Serta Rising, and I can never say this song. Varyogs of Milgard, or whatever. It's from Twilight of the Thunder Gods. I have no clue how to say that. But, those were really cool. I think one of the most coolest moments I've ever had at a show was when they played Pursuit of the Vikings, their final song. And they just kind of slowly slowed down during the last chorus and had the entire crowd, all, like 1,800 people that venue holds, screaming that chorus. And that was so fucking cool. And they did it where the drums were playing real soft and the bass was still going, but then it completely stopped. And then it was just the crowd. And I was like, holy shit. Another really epic moment was when they played Runes to My Memory. The whole crowd singing that chorus was awesome. I love that song. That's one of my favorite Amon Amarth songs. And the place just went fucking berserk when they played Death and Fire. Like, holy shit. Johan was just like, let's turn up the heat. It's Death and Fire. And it was just... boom. Oh, it was fucking awesome. This band, kind of like Enslaved, they were just perfect live. They really were. As soon as this show was over, I wish I could relive it all again, because all three bands just were great. I love even though there's just three bands, they're all very diverse, and so you got a lot of, three completely different styles of metal all in one night, yet they all seem to fit together so flawlessly. And I mean, Amon Amarth's set probably was the best, but damn. It was just a good show. One thing that did bother me, and always bothers me, is when they play Twilight of the Thunder Gods. Woody can't hit that solo. I know someone else recorded it. It's some I forget his name. Did the solo for the album, but they should just really sit down and learn that solo, man. Because that solo is, like, perfect. That's one of my favorite solos of all time, and it's just always disappointing. It's like when Slayer plays Seasons in the Abyss and they fucking butcher the awesome solo that's in there. But that's just me nitpicking. Overall, they were fantastic. Their drummer kind of looks like James Hetfield a little bit. Yeah. In late 80s, early 90s.
Look at their drummer and then watch videos from S&M, and you'll see what we mean.
Yeah. In the last stand of Frey. I don't know what it is. That was awesome to hear too. I love that song. Overall, seriously, a solid set list. The only thing that I could say that I wish they would have played is something like Gods of War Rise, or Valhalla Awaits Me. Maybe take out a new song and put that in there or something. But other than that, seriously solid set list. Solid show. Good show to start 2014.
I know.
Perfect show.
I don't know this. I don't know how much he's gonna beat this. Too much.
I know.
By much anyway. It'll be close.
I can see this being up there when we do our top tours in 2014.
Ooh, but that's gotta be up there. But that's a ways off. So.
I know, and there's lots of tours to go to. So, last thoughts. Who's your favorite?
My favorite, I'd have to say, because it's the band I was most familiar with going into this. I would obviously have to say Amon Amarth, and I mean honestly, if the other two bands, it was two other bands, I would have been okay with it. But I mean, I did like that they made the show better. But Amon Amarth.
Agreed. All the bands are really good though. Check out all these bands. Thanks for subscribing, and go to this tour. I don't know how many dates are left, but I know it's not over yet. So definitely recommend this.
Hurry up and get your ticket. They sell out quick.
Yeah, they've been pretty much selling out everywhere. So we'll see you guys around.